Good morning and welcome to a Friday edition of Coffee with Curare. Friday is not our usual day. We're usually here on Thursdays, but the producer of the show and the main star, we were on mini tour this week, and so we had to push it back a little bit so we could take in a Dead and Company and a fish show during the week. It was quite exciting, and I'm happy to say we're here Friday to talk about it. I'm with Ian Sons today.
The secondary star.
The secondary star. He would be a supporting actor in this role. And we're here to actually jump off the rails a little bit. Since it's Friday, we're going to have a little bit more fun. And today we're going to be talking about some of our favorite fictional healthcare characters, TV shows, so on and so forth. So just bear with us while we have a little bit of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Ian, I'll let you start us off.
Sure. One of my favorites, we're taking it back, I think, to the early 90s, I want to say, is a movie that many healthcare professionals may be familiar with, Doc Hollywood, starring Michael J. Fox, aka Marty McFly. And it's an interesting movie for a number of reasons. Obviously, I think anything with Michael J. Fox is great, but it shows, I think, what is really kind of the true scenario even now, that the majority of the physicians that we talk to, and I guess I shouldn't say the majority, but a lot of physicians that we talk to, they want to go to a bigger city. They want to go to a metro location. And just like in the movie Doc Hollywood, he's traveling off to go to the big city to start his career in medicine. During his journey, gets into a car accident in a very small town. His punishment by the judge is he's got to serve his time providing care at the local small town hospital. Ends up falling in love, yada yada, blah blah blah. But it just goes to show that when you are really in a position where your services are needed and appreciated, sometimes you find that that's what you wanted all along.
That's interesting. I can't really remember that, but was he driving under the influence? Was it a skeleton in his closet
No, I think it was just kind of a random accident. I think he rear-ended a car because he was driving some fancy red convertible.
That's a big leap, though, for the judge to be able to sentence him to serve in the community.
I know, that seems a little fantastical, if you ask me, but
he was in America, right? He's in America?
He sure was.
Huh.
Sure was. But I thought it was a good movie and reminded me a lot of kind of what we do about really trying to help a lot of smaller communities identify great physicians for their local hospitals and groups.
That's interesting because I'm going to actually talk about a smaller town too that maybe isn't that small of a town now, but circa 1870, it sure as heck was a small town, and that's Colorado Springs, Colorado. If you guys know where I'm going yet, you're probably older than 40 years old because I'm talking about Dr. Quinn, the medicine woman, Dr. Michaela Quinn. And the reason why I'm bringing her up is because I want to bring in the power of the woman physician. She was back in 1870. Boston-trained internist, trained in Boston, out there at Harvard University, the oldest university in America, and she set out for adventure to the western United States in 1870. 1870, of course, was after the Lewis and Clark expedition, to my best knowledge. I'm not a history buff.
Okay.
But the West was discovered already. She wasn't going out there to fight Indians. She was going out there to help folks and go be a physician in a man's world. What she did was amazing. She got out there and had absolutely no help. All she had was a handsaw and a midwife, and she took care of everything that came her way. Now, I'm not going to sign up for an appointment anytime soon because that handsaw is really dull by now, but I would tune in any time to see Dr. Mike cure some more patients.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Taking it in a totally different direction, taking it way into the future here, many people have seen the show Star Trek, from what I understand, and one of the cool things about Star Trek is they had all these, futuristic devices, and they had these things called tricorders, and one of their tricorders was a health tricorder. You'd always see it, Bones or whoever's running the tricorder up and down, Spock or Captain Kirk, who just got hurt, and he's like, "Are you okay? Let's see what's going on here." But as a matter of fact, in 2017, as a result of kind of a funded competition to create a device similar to a tricorder, a group of engineers and physicians had success. It was actually a group led by an emergency medicine doctor who had a degree in engineering, along with his brother, who was a network engineer. And they were able to turn a mobile device, aka a smartphone, and attach it to a number of sensors, which allows them to take up to 5 vital signs at a time and diagnose 13 ailments. So they actually turned the tricorder into a reality. Blew my mind. I didn't even know something like that existed.
Wait, this is a real thing.
This is a real thing. In 2017, a competition took place. They created this device. They were awarded over $2 million in hopes to further the production of this device. So, I had no idea.
That's
I had
amazing.
no idea. It is amazing. We live in an amazing time.
Sometimes facts are stranger than fiction, huh?
The world comes at you fast.
Here's one that probably most people don't know about, and I've even forgotten about it a little bit, but man, is he cool. And that's Dr. Leo Spaceman. Do you know who that is?
No.
See, even Ian doesn't know who it is, and that amazes me. He is from 30 Rock, and if you're not familiar with the comedy 30 Rock, you should really open up a new tab right now, head over to YouTube, and come on back and put this on pause. We're still going to be doing live, but put it on pause right now and come back in about 15 minutes after you watch Dr. Leo Spaceman a little bit. He's really funny. He did his medical training at the Ho Chi Minh School of Medicine and very, very likely never completed any sort of residency training. However, he does have an active New York State license, and he's been quoted. People have quoted as saying he's one hell of a good physician and a pretty darn good dentist as well. But there is no proof of his dental training. Just to give you a little idea of why I like Dr. Leo Spaceman, I'm just going to give you a couple of quotes that I find to be a little bit more appealing. And that is, we have no way of knowing where the heart is. See, every human is different. Did you know, scientifically speaking, that humans want food, but don't need it? And lastly, take 25 of these every day for the rest of your life. So tune into
Words
30
to live
Rock.
by.
Yep, it works for a lot of people. Tune into 30 Rock and you'll see what I'm talking about. Great show.
One other that I had to talk about today was an older movie that some of you may remember called Flatliners, starring
that's great.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Filmed in
I think there was some
Chicago.
other. Was Julia Roberts in that
Julia
movie?
Roberts was
I
in
believe
that?
so. There's some really good talent in that, but the movie centered around a group of 5 medical students who decided to test their skills at bringing people back from near-death experiences. But what they didn't count on was something else came back too. It's a really good movie, a little scary, a little spooky, so if you're not into the scary stuff, I would stay away from it. But Flatliner's very intense, great acting, and it definitely stuck with me for a while. I mean, I think there's a whole kind of mystery about what happens after someone passes away. Can you be clinically dead and then come back? We hear about these stories, and that's what the movie centered around. Obviously, some kind of fantasy scenarios of nefarious things happening afterwards, but still, really cool movie.
And if you're looking for the answers of what happens to life after death, just watch Flatliners. I mean, it has everything you need to find out what goes on. Finally, we'd be remiss to not mention, you know where I'm going with this, we have to mention Dr. Doogie Howser. One of the world's biggest underdogs. He finished college at 14 years old. He finished residency by 16 years old. He overcame leukemia to get this all done. The leukemia was diagnosed by his physician father, and that made him want to become a physician. He got a perfect SAT score at the age of 6. If we didn't talk about Doogie Howser, I think this show wouldn't even matter. It would be fake, you know? I mean, it'd be fake news. But now that we brought Doogie into the equation, we could sign off and call it a week. So we're going to go ahead and end Coffee with Curare today, and we're going to enjoy our weekend. And if you're not busy, go ahead and pick out one of these shows and see what you think. Write us some comments on our YouTube video, and let us know what your favorite fictional healthcare situation is, because there's a lot of them out there. It's a good thing. You have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.